Hyde-Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Mayorkas, it's my understanding that the delivery of the first polar security cutter, originally planned for 2024, may now occur no earlier than 2028 due to delays. The committee also has concerns regarding the accuracy of the polar security cutter's estimated procurement cost. Given its size and complexity, it's a lot of moving parts there. However, I'm hearing great progress is being made right now between the shipbuilder in my state and the Coast Guard in getting the security cutter program on track. This is very good news since the Russian ice-breaking fleet is the largest in the world, and the U.S. only has one nearly 50-year-old operational heavy icebreaker. The success of this program is very vital to our national security and economic interest in the Arctic region. I hope the Department and the Coast Guard are working to support the shipbuilder however possible so we may get these assets into the fleet as soon as possible. With that being said, I'd like to receive assurance that progress will continue to be made. So please give me your position on the status of this program.
Senator Hyde-Smith, I am familiar with the challenges that we have had with the development and execution of the contract for the Polar Security Cutter. We are fully invested in that Polar Security Cutter. It is, for the reasons you identify, very important to the United States Coast Guard, to our Arctic strategy, to our national security. And we are working very closely with the contractor to make this relationship work and deliver that Polar Security Cutter as quickly as possible. We are fully vested in it.
Thank you for that. And the U.S. Coast Guard in September 2023 informed me of what it calls temporary operational workforce adjustments across the nation in response to its workforce shortfall, reported at nearly 10% at that time. This included the temporary reduction of capabilities and workforce at Coast Guard Station Pascagoula in Mississippi. I have been assured that its search and rescue capabilities remain sufficient and that it is only temporary, but I question whether that is realistic. As recently as last Wednesday, the Commandant stated that the Coast Guard should expect to see additional adjustments due to personnel shortages that will limit its ability to conduct its congressionally directed missions. The Coast Guard has missed its recruiting goals for the last 4 years, and while I recognize that this issue has spread to nearly all of our armed services, the Coast Guard's failures are what I want to hear about from you today. There's significant requests for funding to support recruiting and retention initiatives in the President's budget request, but I would like your thoughts on the root causes of this workforce retention crisis. What steps are you taking to address the concerns of the young Americans when they see how some of our service members were treated when they were ordered to receive a vaccine that violated their religious beliefs? What about when they hear from their veterans and their families and friends of the unnecessary woke agenda of many senior leaders? This is a messaging and cultural problem at the very least, but I want to know if you have even begun to address these issues rather than just throw money at them.
Senator Hyde-Smith, I am working with leadership across the department on strategies for recruiting and retention of our personnel. You correctly identify the recruiting challenges that the different branches of the military are experiencing, and it's not exclusive to the military. I speak with law enforcement leaders on a regular basis in different parts of the country, and it's a difficult recruiting and retention environment for law enforcement as well. We do need funding so that we can engage in the recruiting efforts that are needed, and we are looking at creative ways to recruit young people to both the Coast Guard and our law enforcement agencies within the Department of Homeland Security.
Can you give me some examples of what you're actively doing now? Can you describe what you're doing?
Let me, if I may, give you one precise example. We're taking a look at what our presence is and is not on university, college, and university campuses. What our education programs are like in high schools around the country to sensitize people about the valor and nobility of public service in the United States Coast Guard, in our law enforcement agencies, and really, have a physical presence there to recruit them. That's one of the elements of the effort.
I think I'm out of town. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator.